Yes, hello, welcome back once again to the Dynasty Hot Seat. It's the only Dynasty show out there that is certified Inferno. Today, we got my good friend and yours, Paul Pickin, on the show. We're talking week 4 Dynasty, who you're starting, who you're sitting, and then some hints and tips for everyone as well. Can't wait to get into it. So let's hit the intro music and let's get going. Here we are, Paul. Two podcasts in 1 week. I mean, what an absolute treat for someone who's listened to both of those shows. You know, Paul, obviously you know him. You can find him on Twitter at Paul_Pickin. You can find him over at the awesome new podcast called the Wild Card Rewind Podcast. Paul, I've heard that's a pretty cool show. Have you heard anything about that new show?
Yeah, but I heard this one guy's doing really bad with his predictions.
Yeah, maybe
no spoilers. Well, go and find out who it is. It's
well, hopefully, Paul, you can give some hints and tips today, so that guy, if he's listening, could maybe pick up on some of them and use them in his predictions next week. So it's great to have you on the hot seat again, Paul. Your second appearance on here. We're going to talk some hints and tips for Dynasty in week 4, or maybe just in general as well. And then we're going to have a little look at one of my teams. We're going to have a little look at one of your teams. We're going to talk some who would you start, who would you sit, and why. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going to go into segment number 1. Segment number 1, the art of war, of course. That's the hints and tips. So you got 2 tips for us today, Paul, right? So let the audience know what you're thinking for week 4, what you're thinking for Dynasty, and what kind of tips do you have for us?
So my first tip is by now you know what your team's going to be. You know, you could be 3-0, you could be 2-1, you could be 0-3. Now I'm 0-3 in a few leagues. I'm 3-0 in a couple of leagues. So I look at my 0-3 teams and I go, right, this team's not making it this year. This is not going to the playoffs. Blow it up.
Yeah.
And you know, there's other teams that I've got a team that's 1-2, and I'm like, I could turn this around. But actually, when you look at the points that it's scored and the points against, you know, actually, I'm really lucky to be 1-2.
Yeah.
And you're sort of going, this is a team that's not going to make it. It's, you know, it's got a stroke of luck at the moment. You know, I think I seen earlier, Ali tweeted going like, you know, Carson Wentz, Conklin, and somebody else. These players are in the top 5 of their position. So, yeah. You know, if you've got a team with them players on, you're going, realistically, how far do I think they're going to go? So, like, this is the time now where you need to decide and make that decision and go, right, I've not got a team that's going to challenge. I'm going to go and I'm going to rebuild this team. As you've seen in the League of Hatchmen that I've started trading away, and I've been in a few conversations with other people and trying to trade assets away there and just go, right, I'm blowing this up now. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's a good point now to kind of look at it and be really honest with it and see what's going on, because you can, like, it's great to blow it up, but if you leave it too late, you're kind of blowing it up for smaller pieces than you should be getting. You know, you're going to get pennies on the dollar if you decide to blow it up whenever you're like 1-6 or 1-7, because by then everyone else in the league knows that those players aren't cutting their mustard anyway. But at the minute, you can sell these guys if they still have some kind of name value and hopefully pass them on to someone at a pretty good price. So yeah, I think now is a good time to really, you know, consider, you know, blowing the team up and thinking about, right, is it time to move on from some of these running backs? Is it time to move on from some of these players that I can get some value for and start again, you know, next year, next 2 years? So I think that's a really good bit of advice. And I loved what you said actually about even teams that are doing well, you want to check and see, you know, how they're doing compared to, you know, the league average. Like, how many points have they scored? How many points have been conceded? And we'll actually see whenever we take a look at one of the teams I'm going to show. It's a team that is 3-0, but you'll see. I think I'm quite lucky to be 3-0, but we'll get to that a little bit later, and we'll see that. Paul, let's say.
I've seen the team. I've seen the team, okay? There's no luck there. You've picked the power team that you can find that's 3-0 and going, I'm going to subtly brag about this team. That's what you've done, as we'll find out later on. You've gone for a subtle 3-0 brag with that one. I looked at it, I was like, wow.
I've got better than that as well, Paul. We're warming up here. I've got more to come. Wait. You say I'm actually just going through sleeper. I'm just going down the list. So that's how I'm doing it. But nothing too special.
To add to that last one, if you are 3-0 and you're looking and you're thinking, oh, I am a little bit lucky to be where I am. My points are maybe a bit lower. I've played the lower scoring teams in the first 3 games. You can also look at the teams that are 0-3 and go, oh, do you know what? I'm going to go and buy their pieces from them and try and take advantage of a team that's 0-3, and they may not be ready to blow it up, but try and force their hand and go, look, I want this running back from you who's going to take me to the championship and help my 3-0 team, and I'm going to give you this first round pick for it. Mm-hmm. Let's go, So,
you can kind of like push them into it a little bit. They might not even be thinking about it, but then they're like, oh, actually, you might have never even thought about it. Yeah.
Yeah. How many times have you, I suppose with the experience, you learn how to be a bit more clever about things. But I remember the first couple of years I'm playing, you draft this team and you're like, oh, that team's going to win a championship. And you find out in the first couple of weeks and you go, this team's not going to win a championship. But the first couple of years, you're still a bit, you're not listening to yourself, and you're not looking at it properly. You're just going, I can still win it. I can still win it. I can still win it. And like you said, then you're getting to the point where you're 1-5 and you're going, I'm going to blow it up now. But the contending teams have already bought running backs. The teams that were 0-3 have already sold and have all the picks. And you're going, anyone want this player? And everyone's going, nah, mate, I don't want to. If I do, I'll give you this. And you're going, well, that's a 2024 pick, and I want to blow my team up now and rebuild it next year. So, it's we've all done it, and I think you got to be a bit brutal with yourself to an extent, and realize that not every team's going to win a championship.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if you're going to blow it up, blow it up. No half measures. The worst thing you can do is kind of half measure a blow up of the team. If you want to do it, you got to go all in. You want as many picks as you can. Don't try and go, oh, I might keep, I like this person. Like you sold, was it J.K. Dobbins you sold? Obviously, is a younger running back. But if you're going to blow up, by the time your team is ready to go, J.K. Dobbins will be gone. So what's the point in having him? So you got to get rid of him.
Yeah. And love that. I sold him for, what's I sell him for? A first and a second.
Yeah.
A first and a second. And I think I sent a third, J.K. Dobbins and a third the other way, I've had people sniffing around because I had such a powerhouse running back core there. I had Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, and J.K. Dobbins, and Elijah Mitchell. And then Mitchell's gone down. My wide receiver core is not that great. My QB core was not so great. And it's I think I've got Trevor Lawrence, Davis Mills, and who's the other one? Oh, I can't remember. The top. But I've got them, so I'm weaker in other places. But the running back position is where my assets are.
Yeah,
and that's Rich was the one I sold it to. He could see that, and he's gone, right, I want J.K. Dobbins. I'll buy him from you. You know what I mean? It's DeAndre Swift's the other popular one that seems to be appearing in my inbox at the moment. But
prepare for one more maybe after the end of the show.
Come and bring me your picks, Mags.
Yeah.
You've got an awful team. I'll take yours all day long.
I probably do have an awful team in that league, actually. So I love that as the first tip, Paul. What's your second tip for everyone listening?
So my second tip is one that I've learned as I've got more leagues, and that is on a Sunday night, enjoy the football.
Yeah.
Don't, I used to do it myself. You'd see a play and you're like, oh, have I got him? What league have I got him in? Oh, how many points did he score? How's everyone else doing? don't worry about the points. Don't worry about predictions. Oh, he's predicted this. Oh my God, he's got Saquon and he's going to score 20 points. And don't listen. On a Sunday night when 6 o'clock comes and that kicks off, the only time I'm checking that in between like Sunday night and Monday morning, I'm checking Sleeper is probably about 8:30 when before the 9:30 or the 9 o'clock kickoffs come. And if there's a couple of injuries or I notice something, I'm checking to see what them players are doing. Apart from that, mate, I don't care what's going on with my fantasy points because I'm literally just sitting there and there's nothing I can do about it. Don't stare at things because 1 minute you could be predicted to win the game by 98% or something like that. 2 plays later, you're going to lose by 70%, and just enjoy the football. Like on a Sunday night, just enjoy the football. We're all here to watch a bit of NFL and enjoy it. And just, on a Sunday night, you need to turn Sleeper off and just go, it is what it is.
Exactly. I absolutely love that as advice. And that's something, I've kind of got better at as well. You're right. It actually has helped with like the more leagues I've joined as well. Because like, let's say someone scores a touchdown, like I've probably got them somewhere. like you're like, I don't know, like maybe they're in there somewhere. Like, but you're just like, cool, just enjoy it, and then go out, watch all the games, really enjoy it, and then tune in on Monday and listen along to the Wildcard Rewind to
and on a Monday morning, I do it myself. I get up, and if I've got a day off on the Monday, I get the kids out of bed, and I'm sitting there eating breakfast, and that's when I'll start looking through my teams, seeing how I got on in what teams, what I need from Monday Night Football and stuff like that, and that's when I start to break it down. Sunday 6:15, I'm not staring at Sleeper going, oh. I used to. Definitely used to every single play. But like you said, now I'm watching, Tua's thrown a massive play to Tyreek Hill, and I'm going, I've got Tua and Tyreek Hill in 3 leagues, but I'm playing against him in that league, and he's, you know what I mean? And I'm just going, no, don't worry about it.
You just go, lovely play, well done.
Yeah. What a great play. And then I join you on a Monday night, and we talk about that play,
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that is brilliant advice. Just have fun and try not to take it too seriously. Just enjoy yourself. Everyone plays Dynasty because they love, the NFL. There's no one playing Dynasty because they're like, there's no what's the opposite of a diehard? Casual, right? There's no casual fans playing Dynasty, right? You're a full-on fledged fan if you're playing Dynasty Fantasy.
I reckon I could change your mind on that.
Maybe actually, that's true. There might be a couple out there.
I think my Dynasty Home League. I think there's maybe a couple in that.
Maybe
that's the only Dynasty league they've got, and
but even still, those guys are more into it than like a redraft. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just too Dynasty skewed. I think like if you're playing Dynasty, you're more into it. If you're
I do agree with that though. I do agree with that.
Yeah, I think so. So after those 2 wonderful tips, Paul, we're gonna have a look at some proper Dynasty rosters. So let's have a look at mine first, Paul. Let's go in and let's have a look. And this is a team now, as we kind of teased it earlier. This team has gone 3-0. This is actually a poor little orphan team I inherited not so long ago, just before the draft class with Justin Jefferson, who you can see there in that draft class. What was that, 2 years ago? So inherited them just then. So let's see how I've done it. Was the worst team in the league, and I think you can still see some remnants of that. And I know you'll probably look like you did at the starting lineup and go, "Oh wow," but there's not a lot of depth in here. So we'll have a look and see. And I've got Jimmy G sitting in at quarterback at the minute with Joe Mixon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire at running back. I've got, this I love, right? I've got Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith. That is beautiful. Kyle Pitts, your arch enemy in a tight end. Then J.K. Dobbins.
I'm never living that down. Am I? The abuse I get for that one comment is untrue.
Although, look, Kyle Pitts, only 95% of people starting at Paul. I think that 5% is the people listening to you. That you've pushed that number down. So well done. I like that. So he's in a tight end. For now, I'm sure you'll tell me to take him out. And then J.K. Dobbins and Michael Pittman in at the flex, and then Tua in at super flex. And I actually recently went out and bought Trevor Lawrence in this. I think it was in this league. Got Trevor Lawrence for, pretty pleased, Give up Trey Lance in a third. Got Trevor Lawrence. What do you think about that?
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Trey Lance to me is a big buy at the moment. Yeah, I think his value is going up, but he is a big buy.
Yeah, I think
I love what they're doing at the Jags at the moment. I think
they look good.
Yeah, I think they've really turned a corner. To be fair,
I never thought I'd be looking forward to the Jags Eagles so much, but that's gonna be a proper football game, right? That's so many big, like heavy hitters on one side. It's gonna be really looking forward to that game coming up.
It's going to be a great game.
Yeah, so we'll see if we can sneak T-Law in, but when he's playing the Eagles, that might be tough. And then this is kind of where we run into a bit of trouble on the bench. Myles Gaskin, Ronald Jones, Devonta Foreman, Travis Homer, Darrell Williams, Corey Davis, Zacchaeus. Then we've got Marvin Jones, Quez Watkins, Rashad Higgins, Marquez Callaway, my guy Daniel Bellinger, who have gotten almost every league. O.J. Howard, Mo Ali Cox, Tyler Higbee, and David Njoku. And then I got a couple of guys on the injured reserve. Taxi. Got Visca Chenault, obviously. Revelation. He plays for the Panthers now. Only realized that a few days ago. Trey Sermon, Michael Carter, Michael Strawn, and Zaquandre White. And then we got a couple of picks left as well. So, what do you think of the team, Paul, first of all? Let's go with that.
Like I said to you, I was like, oh, man, this is a powerhouse team. But actually, looking at the bench, I think you are right. You've got a really, really strong starting lineup, but you have no depth. I think you may find you start getting some losses when bye weeks start coming about,
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, ultimately, that wide receiver core, oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. What you do to have Jefferson, Waddle, and Smith, and they're all the younger wide receivers. Waddle's the younger wide receiver on his team. Smith's the younger wide receiver on his team.
Yeah,
and it's a lot of time for that.
And I drafted.
And Pittman.
I drafted Waddle and Smith and Pitts, and it was Pittman in that class as well. Or was he the year before? I can't remember. But I drafted almost all of the starters. I've gone out and drafted a lot of the young guys starting, which is good. That's what I did when I got this team. I was like, well, I gotta blow up everything. I gotta rebuild properly. So I sold. I had Mike Evans. I got rid of Mike Evans. I got rid of a couple of other older guys as well. I think I got rid of Cooper Kupp. I think if I remember properly. But we'll not talk about that.
But mate, would you sell Cooper Kupp for that lineup?
Yeah. I got,
you know what I mean?
Justin Jefferson.
I love Cooper Kupp, but Cooper Kupp is one player. Give me them four over Cooper Kupp all day long.
Yeah, all day absolutely. Long. So yeah, that's it. It all worked out in the end.
Yeah, I think I took over a team this year and seen that I had Jonathan Taylor, and that was one of the first things I did was sell him. It was like, he's gone. See you later, mate.
Yeah,
I love you, great player, but what I can get for you is unreal, and I think it's like a 16-man league. So I really wanted to. Look, my QBs were really weak, so I went and bought Kyler Murray.
Oh no, you did not. Well, there's only 32 teams. You gotta get a good quarterback out of that because there's probably about 10 good quarterbacks in the whole league. So Kyler Murray is definitely one of them. So you have, even if it's a homer pick, you gotta get a good quarterback.
You do.
And speaking of quarterbacks, let's have a look at my options here at quarterback. I've got Jimmy G in here, who I traded for last season. Actually, I think I got Jimmy G for a third and a fourth or something silly last year because everyone thought Trey Lance was coming in, which he did, and Jimmy Garoppolo was available at a bargain price. I thought I'd be trading for him because he'll get traded somewhere and start there, but turns out he's still at San Francisco. But hey, it's worked out in the end for Jimmy G. He is starting, so he is playing against the LA Rams. Now, I've got Tua here who's questionable. He's got back issues, I think. The only other real option I think I have, is Trevor Lawrence against the Eagles. So out of those three players, Garoppolo against the Rams, Tua against Cincinnati, and Trevor Lawrence against the Eagles, which two of those three would you be starting there?
So first of all, Rule 101 is you take your Friday players out your flex spots.
Yes, absolutely. Let's do that.
So let's there's a tip for everyone. Don't your Thursday night game. Never put them in your flex spots, just in case you want to fly away. You want to pivot anywhere or anything like that. But yeah,
I'd leave two. Dolphins Bengals.
Yeah, I'd leave Tua in and pray that he plays. I think he's trending towards playing, but
yeah, I think he'll play.
Let's be honest, mate. He got clearly knocked out last week and couldn't stand up and carried on playing.
Well, we were talking about it on the show, right? I was like, I can't believe that the UFC's concussion protocols are more stringent than the NFL's. Like, it's crazy.
They've gone at them though, haven't they? The NFL. They've gone at the Dolphins trying to find out more information and stuff. But yeah, so me, I'd play. If it was my choice, I'd play Tua and I'd play Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah,
I don't trust Jimmy G enough. Don't get me wrong. They're against the Rams. Could be a shootout, but I don't think he's done enough this year to be put in over Trevor Lawrence. So
yeah, let's ride the hot hand with Trevor Lawrence, and hopefully the Jags continue to stay strong. And yeah, something Jimmy G going up against Aaron Donald. I think there's probably 9 times out of 10 one winner there, right? Against the Rams defense, which is, maybe not what it was last year, but it took him a while to get going last year as well. So I wouldn't be shocked to see the CM this year. So we'll have Trevor Lawrence locked in along with Tua Tagovailoa. And let's have a look at the running backs. Again, this team is mostly set. I think we got Joe Mixon, we got Clive Edwards-Helaire, who has, been, it's a very oddly productive year for Clive. I think he had 0 rushing yards last week, but also was like a top 5 running back somehow because he's very weird.
So I do a buy sell for 5-yard dynasty, and that's come out this evening. And I always get a buy and sell from one of the guys from the dynasty team, and Liam's put Edwards-Helaire as a sell.
Yep.
And mate, looking into him, if it wasn't for touchdowns or work in the passing game, he'd be nowhere. You know what I mean? And you are 100% right. Don't ask me how, but somehow he had 7 attempts last week for 0 rushing yards, but a rushing touchdown. How do you have 0 rushing yards?
Yeah,
I don't know. Can't work it out.
Fantastic.
But I was looking at it. I was like, surely that's not right. But according to Sleeper, he got a rushing touchdown, but no rushing yards. So it must have been inches. He got inches.
I wonder if I could ride this hot hand with Edwards-Helaire and see if I can swap him out for another running back in this league, and see while the value's high if I can get him swapped out. But I've got Joe Mixon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in here at the minute. J.K. Dobbins is obviously available in the flex spot too that we could move in. But I mean, there's only one guy that kind of stands out to me here. It's not Myles Gaskin. I mean, it's not. Ronald Jones hasn't really done anything yet at the Chiefs. Nope. He's not even had a chance to play. Foreman might play. I hear rumblings about Christian McCaffrey. He's the one that stands
out for me because I'm hearing McCaffrey is struggling with something, and then I seen it. I can't remember who sent the tweet. Somebody sent the tweet that said he's hearing from his little birds that Foreman's going to see work, or whether it was CMC's nursing something. But yeah, he to me is the one that stands out, and Williams at the bottom there. And I know James Conner is playing, but I don't know. I don't think it's enough to bring him into your team, but
no,
they stand out to me. I'd be looking at them going, right, if CMC's down and Foreman gets all the work, bam, sell.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
what I mean?
I might even try and see if I can after the show have a little look, find the Christian McCaffrey owner, and just message him and be like, hey, McCaffrey might not play. I've got Foreman. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, give me a 23 first.
I'll do. Yeah, 23, 2. I'll start at 2, and we'll negotiate.
It's not high,
right? Yeah, exactly.
I'm happy to accept.
But I don't. I don't see anyone there that's really going to surpass Mixon, Edwards-Helaire, or Dobbins, though, right? No. So let's. I mean, I say let's have a look at the wide receivers, but let's be honest. There's probably no one.
Unless you've got the only way you're swapping any of them is if you've got Chase on your bench.
Well, I could put Michael Pittman up there, right? I suppose I could swap him out the flex, but the receivers I've got, Corey Davis, who maybe last year I was quite excited about Corey Davis going on to that Jets team, but he's like, at best the third passing option on that team now. Isn't he? Zacchaeus comes up trumps every now and again. He's more of a best ball guy. Marvin Jones, at the Jags has been okay, with the resurgence of their team. Quez Watkins, again, more of a best ball guy. Rashad Higgins and Marquez Callaway. Man, did anyone blow a chance more than Marquez Callaway last year, right? That was his chance, and he was primed to be the lead receiver on that team, and he just did absolutely nothing. Yeah,
you get one chance, mate. You get one chance, and he blew it. But you get to watch him. You get to watch him. When you like to have him in your team, knowing that when he goes off and scores 100-yard touchdown, that you go, I started him over Waddle. Come on.
Yeah. I started him over Justin Jefferson.
You're the one guy on the planet that would have dropped Justin Jefferson for Callaway that week,
Yeah, exactly. But I'm not that brave, Paul. I'm not going to do that. No. I'm going to keep Justin Jefferson, even though he's a little bit disappointed. But hey, I guess I'll just watch Justin Jefferson score touchdowns on. You
just got to ride it with Jefferson now. You just got to ride it.
Exactly. You just gotta see it through. I mean, he's too good, right? He's too good not to eventually rise up to the top there. And same with Waddle and Smith look questionable, but I'll kind of wait and see what happens with them. So Waddle, I'll have to keep a close eye on, tonight, I suppose, right after the podcast. See if he's definitely going to play. I haven't heard too much about that injury, though. Have you heard much about it?
No, I haven't, mate, to be honest. And I don't think they'll release much till about midnight, will they?
Jalen Waddle expected to face Bengals 6 hours ago. I'll trust that, right? We'll go with that and hope for the best there then. So that's one of the downsides of being in the UK, obviously, is I'm not staying up to midnight to check the team news. I'm just going to risk it. I'm keeping Jalen Waddle in there, and let's.
Although I'm getting a 1 o'clock.
Oh,
so if you want to give me a sleeper password,
I do not. We are in too many leagues together for me to do that.
Oh yeah. Why the hell have I got like Chase Edmonds on the Justin Jefferson on the bench and Chase Edmonds in the spot?
Well, I would wake up and your rebuild in the Hatchetman League would be complete a lot quicker. I'll tell you that much.
You'd have to
be almost done, right?
And then, why have I paid a first for this nobody?
Then we get to, this is the pick that people have been waiting for. Obviously the episode title of the show is going to be like Kyle Pitts sucks or something, right? After what you go on a rant about this guy. So we got Kyle Pitts. Now the big question, Paul, is do we sub out Kyle Pitts for David Njoku, Tyler Higbee, Mo Ali Cox, OJ Howard, or Daniel Bellinger?
No.
Wow. What a big call. Kyle Pitts obviously started slow, and then he kind of came on a bit last week, right? So are you more impressed with what you see with Kyle Pitts, or do you think it's maybe just Marcus Mariota absolutely sucks, right? And Kyle Pitts is actually pretty good, but he's in a bad situation here.
Who are they playing?
Good question.
Who are they playing?
Let's have a look. They are playing against the Browns, Myles Garrett was in a car crash. So he doesn't look like he'll play. Yeah. So Myles Garrett, it's a Browns without Myles Garrett. So that is a pretty big difference.
Yeah. I'd feel confident of starting Kyle Pitts. I think you're actually fairly okay at tight end. I think your backups on your bench are very serviceable. David Njoku would be, depending on what kind of matchup Kyle Pitts had this week, he'd be the only person that I'd be confident playing. He's against the Falcons, and he seems to be. He seems to be doing well every week at the moment. Kev is absolutely loving life as his wild card pick this year, wasn't it, David and Joe?
It was.
But yeah, so like you said, with Myles Garrett being out, I think the Browns, a bit like the Steelers without TJ Watt, it's that big name, it's that big personality that pumps your defense up. So I'd feel safe playing him, So
absolutely. And
let's be honest, I got hammered for saying something about Kyle Pitts. If I'd have said to you, no, swap him for David and Njoku, God help my Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to send you down that course, Paul. So let's keep Kyle Pitts locked in. And then the two people I've got in the flex, J.K. Dobbins, someone who I think might finally, get going now. I got big hopes for J.K. Dobbins this year. I think the Ravens run the ball more than anybody else, and I think they maybe eased him in a little bit last week, and it's going to be a great game against Buffalo. There's going to be so many chances. They're going to be sniffing around the end zone of both teams, sniffing around the end zone of the other. So hopefully J.K. Dobbins can slot in and have himself a pretty nice game here against the Bills. And Michael Pittman Jr., he's pretty much locked in any team at the minute, right? He's absolutely killing it. So the only one there is maybe Dobbins is still obviously coming off the injury. He's the only one I would maybe consider swapping out. Was there anyone you've seen there, or are you happy with Dobbins?
There's nobody on your bench. And let's look back at the Bills game last week where they played the Dolphins. Yeah. Who stood out for the Dolphins? Who scored everything for the Dolphins? Chase Edmonds, 2 touchdowns.
That's right.
They silenced Waddle and Hill. So are we thinking they may do the same with Mark Andrews and Bateman? Keep them quiet. Enter J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah. And I'm just like with Dobbins and Pittman as well, like something I always like to do in Dynasty, and it's maybe not the best advice, but I'm like, they're my guys, I'm going to start my guys. Like I'm just like, I put faith in them. I've got a lot of shares in both of them. I'm just like, I believe in those two, so I'm going for it.
As an analyst, you want to do that as well. You don't want to sit there going, oh, actually, J.K. Dobbins is amazing, Michael Pittman's amazing, and then go, I'm not going to start him. You know what I mean? You've got to believe in your own work as well, haven't you? So if you think Pittman and Dobbins are your guys, start them, play them, draft them, trade them, do what you need to do.
100% agree with you there. So we've got our team called Under Construction, never finished, right? Never finished. So this is how it lines up then. We didn't change too much. We got Tua in a QB, Joe Mixon and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Waddle, and Devonta Smith, Kyle Pitts, J.K. Dobbins, Michael Pittman Jr., and Trevor Lawrence set up as our starting team. Pretty happy with that, right? That should be a pretty strong week, all going well. And hopefully traveling on to 4-0. So let's take my team out there. And Paul, we're going to switch controls over to you. Let's have a look. You've got a team up here. I mean, whoa, you've got them highlighted off the bat. What a start. The best quarterback in the NFL, Patrick Mahomes, in locked. No need to worry about that. What's next?
Hang on. I'm just trying to... Right. I'm not good with this computer.
That's all right.
So this is my Champions League team.
Oh yeah.
You're in this league yourself.
Yes. I'm doing okay in that league. I'm not doing great.
So this is a mental league. It's so there's eight teams per league. There's 32 teams in total, and there's 8 groups. So I've got quite a lot of positions here. So at quarterback, I've got Pat Mahomes and Kirk Cousins. And then at running back, I've got Fournette, Kareem Hunt, Miles Sanders. At wide receiver, I've got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman, Marquise Hollywood Brown, and Christian Kirk. And then tight ends, absolutely dominant with
Oh,
Travis
look
Kelce
at
and Mark
that.
Andrews.
Nice.
And then in my flex, I've got Nico Collins, Damian Pierce, and Matthew Stafford in my super flex. As it's only an 8-man team, we've got an extra super flex and 2 starting QBs. My bench consists of Jimmy G, Drew Lock, and then listening to Jonathan Taylor missing practice, I picked up Deion Jackson.
Yep.
I've got Jamal Williams at running back, Kenneth Gainwell, the Gus Bus, Keyshawn Vaughn, J.K. Dobbins, Eno Benjamin, Melvin Gordon,
nice,
and Deontay Foreman. And then at wide receiver on the bench, I've got Tyler Lockett, Traylon Burks, Ryan Edwards, Juju Smith-Schuster. And then at tight end, I've got Evan Engram, Donald Parham, and Taysom Hill.
Nice. Very, very strong looking, not the starting lineup there, but strong overall roster. So let's
so you need to look at this with a bit of a different mindset because it's only an 8-man league.
Yes.
It's easier to get more depth at positions than anything. So yes, you say I've got loads on the bench, but actually there was only 8 people in the draft. So, your first 16 picks, everyone's had 2 picks each. So, you know what I mean? You're always going to get high quality,
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start running down the team then, Paul, and see if there's anyone we take out. I mean, obviously, Pat Mahomes going absolutely nowhere. He's going to absolutely crush Tampa Bay. Sorry, Ali. So we're really going to have a look at Kirk Cousins here. So who are your other quarterbacks again, Paul? Do you want to scroll down for us?
I've got Matthew Stafford, Jimmy G, and Drew Lock.
Now, the interesting thing that I love about this league actually is anyone in your flex positions, they will actually score 50% of the points they score. So are you thinking there actually Stafford against San Francisco is someone you would swap into your quarterback role ahead of a Cousins or a Mahomes?
So I'm still trying to work out the best strategy for this.
Yeah.
And obviously, as I commission the whole thing, I see what benefits people and stuff like that. So I'm seeing teams some weeks where they've put high scoring players in their flex, but that's cost them so many points that they've actually lost a game because of that.
Yes.
So what you want in here is I've seen people score 200 points, but they've only scored like 15, 20 points in their 3 flex positions. So I'm leaning towards swapping Cousins and Stafford around.
Yeah.
As I think Stafford could score me more points. Oh, can he?
Well, you got to think like San Francisco haven't been great, and New Orleans, if anything, they've got a pretty good. I mean, they got Marshall Lattimore there as well, who's gonna probably be locking down a lot of the backfield. So it's gonna be tricky though. I wouldn't be surprised if they scored, very similar points range. To be honest.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I think they may be 2 people that are like back to back sort of. Yeah. They could finish back to back on the week. I don't know. I've seen New Orleans concede more points than San Francisco, so I may lean to keep Stafford in this flex spot.
Okay, let's leave Stafford there for now. And Jimmy G's not getting a look in there, right? I don't think so.
No, I don't think I want Jimmy G in you.
No. Oh, you put Pat Mahomes there. Careful.
Have I?
Yeah. Just
I can't get used to this. I'm doing it on a computer, man. It's
very different, right? It is very different. So let's have a look then at your running backs. You got Lombardi, Lenny in there. You've got Kareem Hunt, and you got Miles Sanders, who finally scored a touchdown. Good for him after more than a year without getting one. So let's have a look and see who you got on your bench. at the running back position. You got Damian Pierce sitting in the
I've
flex.
got Damian Pierce in the flex. And then, like I said, I wavered in Jackson. But to me, straight away, looking at them, I know I will be taking Kareem Hunt out. What do you reckon?
Yeah, so I'm looking at, I don't know what the health status is on DeAndre Swift, but I don't think he's playing. I don't know
No,
if
the
he's been
last I
ruled
seen,
out.
they look like he may miss a couple of weeks, and then I think they're aiming for just after his bye week, which is week 6, if I'm correct. Yeah,
which means Jamal Williams is the guy there. I'm playing against the Seahawks, who are terrible. I'd be trying to find a spot for Williams, either in your flex or in your running back position. Miles Sanders questionable. Don't know what the status is in that.
I'm thinking Miles Sanders has got to go.
Mm-hmm.
I like Kareem Hunt against the Falcons.
Yeah,
I think they could really start building a high score.
yeah.
I maybe look at moving him down to my flex, but I don't know. At the moment, I'm thinking we put Jamal Williams in there.
I think Jamal Williams is a must start. Like, the Lions have been playing really well. He's been playing really well himself, and the other guy there, I suppose, is J.K. Dobbins, right? You got Damian Pierce in your flex spot at the minute. I don't know who the Texans are playing. They're playing against the Chargers. With that is a potentially Joey Bosa-less Chargers as well, which is, again, it's just like we talked about with Myles Garrett, right? Joey Bosa makes a huge difference in that team.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
It's hard to tell, really, but I mean, I would always just lean the better player, and J.K. Dobbins is a better player than Damian Pierce.
Would you worry about the fact that I've got 2 Texans starting there?
I'd worry about one Texan. But yeah, that's not like the Texans.
Would you maybe take Nico Collins out of the flex for him?
Yeah, I would start Pierce over Collins for sure. So yeah, I would.
So would you start Dobbins over Collins?
Yeah.
Taking your advice.
I think Dobbins will almost certainly score more points than Nico Collins. You'd think, although the Texans aren't doing that well. They look more of a team than they did last year, though. But the results aren't following just yet, unfortunately for them. But I think J.K. Dobbins should outscore. I mean, and then where are we next? Wide receivers. Let's have a look. Who you got? I mean, CeeDee Lamb, bit of a shaky start, but you can't not start CeeDee Lamb, right? Especially against the Commanders.
Yeah, and let's be honest, CeeDee Lamb had quite a week about him last week, didn't he?
He had a decent game on Monday, right? He was. Let's see.
How do I go down here?
There you go. Yeah, you got it. 22 points. Yeah.
Well, 12 targets. 8 receptions, 87 yards, and a touchdown. That's really encouraging because the Giants have done quite well this year.
Yeah, they're going. That's going the right way.
And the fact that it's Cooper Rush as well, like leading the ball. So
yeah,
that to me is very encouraging, and that would be me thinking, right, he's staying in.
Yeah, you think he would go up from that wide receiver 31 place that he is, and then just hit that teeny X next to Lamb. There you go, perfect. So CeeDee Lamb definitely staying in. Michael Pittman, we kind of talked about him earlier. He's probably going to play. Marquise Brown, he had a good week, right? He had a good week. I know the Cards didn't come out on top last week, but Marquise Brown finally looking like he's really integrated into that team and looked pretty good last week. Are you impressed with Marquise Brown so far on your team?
No.
So are we taking him out then? Let's get.
No. So in all honesty, I'm hating on the Cardinals at the moment. I just think we look really bad. I think the 5-yard dynasty, Rich Coolin was talking about it as well, and like Cliff Kingsbury, the way that he's getting this team to play is awful, and the only time they're ever doing anything is if Kyler literally has got nothing else to do and he makes something up himself.
Yeah.
and I kind of feel this is why Marquise Brown, I think, what did he have? Did he have something like 17 targets or something like that? There you go, 17 targets. He's not getting that week in, week out. Yes, no. As you can see there's an improvement. He's got 6 to 11 to 17, 4 to 6 to 14. He had 140 yards. It's a phenomenal. It was a phenomenal week. I can't see him maintaining this.
Fair.
So,
but is that worrying for you then? Is that enough to take him out of this? Well, who have you got to put in? Obviously, Nico Collins, we talked about, is there. Tyler Lockett, Treylon Burks, who's looked all right so far. Who else you got at wide receiver? Nico Collins, Brian Edwards, and then Juju Smith-Schuster. Are you thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, we know what our friend Kev would certainly be.
Yeah, Kev would be saying, drop him now and put him in. And do you think I listen to the Fantasy Wildcard? I've got Matt's guy Christian Kirk. I've got Kev's guy Juju Smith-Schuster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But
it's just like the wildcard dream team.
I'm thinking Mosh.
Yeah, and that's good as well. You've obviously got the stack with Patrick Mahomes then too. So if the Buccaneers continue to struggle like they have been, and the Chiefs continue to play well, despite that kind of weird hiccup, but it's not like the offense played badly last week. It was more of a special teams thing. So I expect the Chiefs to be fine. Be a tricky game against the Buccaneers as it always is. But yeah, Juju looked pretty good, right? So he's ticking along okay. So that should be pretty good. And Christian Kirk's looking like a wide receiver one, right, on that team. He's really starting to click, and Trevor Lawrence is slinging it and looking great.
Kind of like what you said, he's the hot hand at the moment. I just can't drop him.
Absolutely, yeah. And speaking of players you can't drop, let's have a look at those tight ends again, shall we? My goodness me, that's
you know what? I can't remember off the top of my head. Is it 2 points per reception for tight ends?
It's a massive, it is a really good premium on tight ends. I think I may have done the same. I think I drafted some pretty good tight ends in that league, but I can't quite remember who. But yeah, it not better than Kelsey and Andrews, I'll tell you that much, because that is, I mean, impossible. You could package them together and trade for Kyle Pitts if you wanted, I suppose, right?
What? Trade my tight end 1 and my tight end 2 for my tight end 4. 4? Did I say 4? I meant 14.
Who's 3?
Who's 3? Darren Waller.
Darren Waller. Wow, that's big. That is big. So
I'm liking him at the moment. I'm really liking him at the moment. He's. I
suppose the Raiders are losing every game, so they're going to be throwing a lot, right?
Yeah, maybe that's why I'm liking him at the moment.
Maybe, yeah, but that's Kelsey and Andrews, they're not going anywhere, right? They're staying there.
I think there's another team in one of the other leagues that's got the same Kelsey and Andrews, and I think he's doing really well as well.
Brilliant. So let's have a look then at the flexes, and we kind of had a look at them earlier. J.K. Dobbins locked in. Dameon Pierce, was there anyone else on the bench that you thought could take Dameon Pierce's role? Let's have a look. Maybe one of those receivers, maybe like a Treylon Burks.
See, Evan Engram, like normally I'd say he's not somebody I'd put in a flex position, but with the tight end premium, he can score quite big. What? Oh God, I've already swapped him. Trying to look at his stats.
He had a pretty good week. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago? He had a pretty solid week. Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, right?
18 points.
Yeah, and I mean, the problem is he's playing as the Eagles, and that Eagles defense is as mean as it gets. Like it's going to be hard to rack up points against them, I think. So that'll be my only concern there for the Jaguars. And so I think you've also got Christian Kirk, I think, playing. You don't want to stack up too much. I mean, you could go Hollywood Brown there, could go back to Miles Sanders.
I've got a few options here, really, haven't I?
Tell you what, Foreman is there. That's not a bad option. And Melvin Gordon is someone I start in 3-4 teams every week because he's so safe. He scores points every single week.
So I just seen a sleeper thing. That's what it says. The Panthers running back McCaffrey did not practice again with a thigh issue. My understanding is there's still optimism that he plays. He's kept it close to the vest, but bearing a setback, he should be okay. So Foreman's a definite no-go if McCaffrey's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
But one that stood out to me, two, is Hollywood Brown and Treylon Burks.
Yeah. What are the matchups like? So Hollywood
Treylon Burks is playing the Colts.
Yeah.
And Hollywood Brown's playing the Panthers.
I mean, those are two soft enough matchups, right? You'd have to then, I mean, do you just pick the better quarterback, right? Which is your boy Kyler, right?
Should we listen to the weatherman Matt?
Yes, good idea.
Carolina's forecast rain.
Yes.
So, am I worrying about the weather? Because, obviously, I know rain shouldn't affect it, but if it's heavy rain,
it does, especially the wide receivers.
Yeah, they could focus more on the run game or something. But then again, Cliff Kingsbury has no idea what he's doing. So, for all we know, it's going to rain and he's going to throw the ball 60 times,
Yeah.
God only knows. But, yeah, so do you know what? I think I'm going to lean for Hollywood Brown.
Yeah. I think I would do the same there. I would get Hollywood Brown in, and yeah, he's got more of a chance of going off compared to the other guys. Although you could also,
I think he's got the biggest ceiling, hasn't he? Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's get him locked in.
Nice, and let's have a look at the full team then, Paul. I'll let you run us through it.
Okay, so starting QBs are Pat Mahomes and Kirk Cousins with Matt Stafford in Superflex spot.
Yep.
Running backs, I've got Lenny Fournette, Kareem Hunt, Jamal Williams.
Yep.
Wide receivers, I've got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Pittman Jr., Juju Smith-Schuster, and Christian Kirk. My two tight ends are Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. And then in my flex spots that only score 50% of what they score due to the league rules is J.K. Dobbins, Marquise Brown, and as I said earlier, Matt Stafford at Superflex.
That is looking like a really, really strong team, and yeah, one that can definitely, get a win. And what kind of position you set? Are you 3-0 in that league, Paul, or how are you doing in that league?
I think I've got 2 wins.
2-1, but it looks like a super strong team and one.
Yeah, I've got 2 wins. 2 wins so far. So in my league, in my group, there's the Cardinals, the Bills, the Falcons, the Panthers. We all got assigned 32 teams. We all got an NFL team. So at the moment, I'm currently sat in second in this group with the Falcons on 3 wins, the Cardinals on 2 wins. It's more than we have in the NFL, might I add. The Bills have got 1 win and the Panthers are on 0. So, but yeah,
lovely. Yeah, I'm absolutely loving that league.
You're on 2 wins as well, aren't you?
I think so. I can't.
You're in the same league as Hannah and Ali.
Oh, that is interesting, right? That's a proper wild card league, right there.
And Rich Coolin as well. So that's the group of death.
That is a tricky league right there. That's that's some shenanigans going on with the draw there. There was some. What do they do? They put the heated balls in the pot, right?
Yeah.
That's
Peter Crouch.
Yeah. But no, absolutely loving that league. It is great, and you're looking like you're heading towards another win with that team there. I think it's looking really strong.
The difficult thing about that league.
Yeah.
So if I was to go, so who am I playing this week? So I'm playing the Bills, and so because there's so many leagues, there's so many groups and stuff like that. So he's in League 4.
That's right. It's not always divisional matchup.
So this, I suppose, I'm at a bit of an advantage here because I can see.
You see everything.
So his team now, the team I'm going against at the moment is Lamar Jackson, Jameis Winston, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Michael Carter, CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, Deontay Johnson, Chris Olave, Zach Ertz, Tyler Conklin, Khalil Herbert, Mike Williams, and Marcus Mariota.
You can beat that, I think. That sounds like a win for you there. There's a lot of good players in there, obviously. Lamar Jackson, you got to be worried about, obviously, but
yeah, he's got Jamal Williams on his bench as well, so I should imagine he'll make some changes before the kickoff on Sunday. But
yeah, absolutely. But you're looking pretty strong and give great tips as always. And Paul, something I know that you definitely want is to get back right on here, right? You were on here for a time,
yeah.
Mean people.
Some of the greatest days of my life were spent on that Hall of Fame, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
it goes wedding day, birth of children, Hall of Fame, you know?
Yeah. So let's get Paul back on the Hall of Fame. It's easy to do. Like the video on YouTube. End of list. That's it. That's all you got to do. So get over to YouTube, hit that like button. The more it gets, the higher up he will go. That would upset our friend Kev because that would knock him off the list. But let's see what we can do. And let's get Paul back on the list because it was Kev who knocked you off in the first place, Paul. So this would be a full circle. Let's get some revenge. And Paul, do you just want to tell everyone once again where can they find you online before we end the show?
Yeah, find me on Twitter at Paul_Picking.
Nice.
Or come and find me at Wildcard Rewind, where you'll find me, Mags, and our amazing co-host Hannah, who you had on last week. Yep. If you want to see any of my articles, I'm currently doing a weekly Dynasty buy sells over at 5 Yard Dynasty. The new article came out this evening, and yeah, if ever you want to just have a chat, the DMs are always open.
Awesome, yeah, Paul, one of the best guys in the game. So if you're not following already, make sure you are, and yeah, make sure you're giving the show a like, a follow, subscribe, and hey, little request for this week, if you've not already. Whatever you're listening on, see if you can give a little 5-star review. I'm sure that helps out in the long run. So see if you can hit those 5 stars. Don't worry about typing a review. You don't have to do that. That's too much effort. Just a little 5-star review. That'll do just lovely. So thanks again, everyone, for listening. Hopefully we all do well in our week 4 matchups, and hopefully your teams stay lit. And we'll see you in week number 5. Bye.